This is a clip from an earlier live stream. I know you're going to like it, so the link to the full video is down below. Check it out. I'll see you over there.
And she sent me that email on October 6th, and I received the relic on October 15th. So that's just really amazing that happened in October. Relics from the same cave where St. Michael appeared in Italy. Anyway, to, I guess, kind of stay in the same vein, Frank Turek, I've invited him on the show many times. He gives me Rabbi Barclay, who I had that debate with when I was over the Daily Wire. And I don't dislike Frank Turek because it's just like they are interesting to hear them talk and explain things and kind of get incensed. And they seem worried about not what they're actually saying. Like there's something deeper that's triggering them. And he's been saying a lot about me, and I haven't said much about him. But I wanted to let you hear how he correlates me to Satan. Take a listen.
I think Candace Owens is completely lost any credibility when she's saying that certain dreams are where she's getting her information from. Okay. Yeah, there are dreams in the Bible, but there's always supernatural confirmation for those dreams. There's been no supernatural confirmation for Candace Owens's dreams. You can come up with any possibility you want. Possibilities are not evidence, ladies and gentlemen. We're supposed to follow evidence. And notice, I'll say this again. In fact, I was just talking to a pastor friend of mine. He's like, what do I say when, people are running down Erica Kirk? And I say the same thing that I say. Have you noticed that Jesus and the apostles say that Satan is a murderer, a slanderer, an accuser, a liar, and somebody that brings confusion? Have you noticed that we've had a murder, and then since then we've had slander, accusations, lies, and confusion? That's what spiritual warfare is, ladies and gentlemen. And for people who are slandering Erica and others, including me, and making accusations and lies and stirring up confusion without evidence, this is what Satan does.
Okay, here's a follow-up question, Doc. Like, what do we mean that I'm allowed to have a dream? He's like, yeah, no, that happens all the time in the Bible when he remembers that he has to be Christian. And then he's like, but there's supernatural confirmation. What's the supernatural confirmation that we're looking?
I'm sorry. I feel like we're dealing with somebody who's retarded. I just got to say it. I'm sorry.
For what do you want me to say? I had a dream which happened, and then what am I supposed to say? Like Charlie appeared in my house. Like I don't know what he's talking about. That doesn't even make sense. So I just pivots and then starts going, Satan's a murderer. Yeah, we're kind of trying to figure out who murdered Charlie Kirk. Welcome to the show, Dr. Frank Turek. We're aware. Murder, when you see that act of murder and you see it in broad daylight, there's probably like a synagogue of Satan hiding behind it. And you guys just don't seem interested at all in going on this journey to figure out who killed Charlie Kirk, which is giving us a little bit of intuition that something's amiss. Again, going back to the example of Kobe Bryant's wife, suing she didn't trust nobody. Everybody was getting sued. Okay. And I didn't even agree with some of her lawsuits. But darn if I didn't agree with the emotion of like a woman who feels like there needs to be justice served somehow for my loss. What would we have said if, I don't know, it would have been kind of weird if she, as soon as the helicopter, I forgive them. I forgive everybody.
It's odd to me that instead of dealing with what Frank Turek said, deal that you're not a liar, deal that you're not a divider, an accuser, deal that you're not a slanderer. You're creating this whole side quest story that nobody's asking, nobody's arguing, nobody was talking about Vanessa Bryant. You invited Vanessa Bryant to the group text. Nobody had her in there but you, Candace. And it is odd because you're not actually addressing what he said, which is very much akin to how you didn't address what Dave Rubin said. And many times you don't actually address what Ben Shapiro or even Jeremy Borings have said about you. You've never actually stood on your business and actually addressed those topics and said, no, I'm not lying. Here's my evidence. Because you could knock down that you could probably change most of our opinions of you if you had just shown us the evidence that was a real conversation that you just read. But you didn't. And we don't believe that it's real. Well, I don't believe it's real. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I don't believe it's real. So why are we to believe, like, you haven't actually dealt with the actual substance of what Frank Turek said. You're talking about a side quest, because I'm going to go on a limb, and I might be wrong. If you watched Frank's show, please feel free to tap in. Did Frank talk about Vanessa Bryant?
Involved. It's like, you got to get to forgiveness. You do have to get to forgiveness. And I'm sure that she's there now. But immediately after, you're skipping all the other phases of grief. You instantly accepted what happened within 5 days, maybe even sooner, that Charlie was gone. I don't know. I welcome this discussion with you. But yeah, Satan is a liar. We're tracking the Turning Point USA lies. You are basically confirming for us that everything that we're looking at is satanic. Kind of what we've been saying, right? I've been saying this is no longer about left versus right. This is good versus evil.
How did you pivot that off of you? That was some Heisman Trophy type of move. How did you move that off of you and shift what Frank Turek said onto TPUSA? That was impressive. That was impressive. I got to admit.
And you're upset with us for pointing out the lies at the same time that you're calling people Satan? What am I accusing you of? Lying? Where is the evidence? No one in the history of the world has presented more evidence than Candace Owens. There's just so much evidence. And then you really haven't. Lies, debunked in my show. Text messages.
That's the thing, though, Candace. You really haven't shown any evidence. You've just spoken. You've given us nothing that we can go back and look at independently. Not a thing. You can say that. And, like Peter the other day was talking about she's giving evidence. I'm like, no, she really hasn't. You can say that till the cows come home. But that bovine scatology, baby, we're not buying it. You haven't shown us anything. You've just told us stuff. You literally just read an email from somebody that you've had for 4 months that implicated Erica Kurt, but you haven't said anything about Erica Kurt until December. Okay.
I show timelines, and they're just like, they concede the point, and then it's just over. They're like, back to like, all she's doing is dreaming. All she's doing is dreaming. She hasn't showed us any proof whatsoever. What are we doing? Why do I feel like we're on a hamster wheel with these people? How much more evidence? I have presented so much more evidence than the FBI ever did against Tyler Robinson that they're the accusers. How about they convicted him when Erica said on stage, I forgive you. You're forgiving him, which implies that he's guilty. So who is the accuser?
Isn't that adorable? Do y'all see what she just did? She's assuming that the case is over. I believe Tyler Robinson did it, so I will land there. But she does realize the case hasn't even started, right? She's doing all of this extra work, and the case itself hasn't started. As if all of the evidence that we've seen that the authorities have. By the way, she brought up FBI when the FBI isn't running the point. Does anybody think that she actually knows that? Or is she doing that to just muddy the water? Because it's not the FBI's case, by the way. It's just wild that she keeps doing this. I got to get done. Let's go. Let's stop, Jason.
Who is the liar?
You!
Who is the person that you are saying is evil in all of this? The person trying to find out who killed Charlie Kirk, who's willing to sit down.
Can y'all put in the chat who is the person that's evil, the person that's lying? Could you type the person's name just in case you, if you don't mind, can you put that person's in there? Okay. Seems like we're all on the same page. I don't even know where to go with this. I kind of want to see what she's going to say about Don Lemon. I know you liked that episode. This is actually a clip from a larger live stream. The link is down in the description, so you can go check it out. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you down there. Grace and peace.